Merry BLITZMAS. What is up, guys? Zan from the Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a very, very inconspicuous blitz that you can set up out of the nickel triple defense. Now, the nickel triple was my favorite defense to start the year, but as the year progressed, it became very apparent that the best way to try to generate pressure is to do so in a sneaky manner because of the user not being quite as rangy as they are in previous iterations of Madden. So I wanted to go ahead and show you guys a blitz that you guys can use situationally. I think that this is a good mix-in blitz, especially if you've been bringing blitzes out of a primary defense, like maybe, for instance, the 2-4-5 odd, or maybe you are a player that likes to run the 2-4-5 normal like I do and bring pressures out of that, which you can find in my game plan on Gridiron. But with this particular look, this is going to give your opponent something that they would likely think is probably a coverage-based defense. So for this to work at its best, my recommendation is that you're going to want to put your fastest possible player that can get to the quarterback on the right outside linebacker position. So I'm going to go ahead and put JOK at this position. JOK is going to be somebody that can really get after the quarterback. Now, the other thing that's really cool about this formation is that you can actually put safeties at the inside linebacker positions like you can in other nickel packages. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to go ahead and we'll just put in whoever LeCount is here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put Clowney on the edge. And then I'm going to go ahead and put Garrett inside along with Malik Jackson. Now, with this particular play, you're going to want to make sure that your line of scrimmage linebacker is on the right side, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to pick him up off the line and move him back to make your opponent think that this is a coverage based look. So you can do this out of any play that you want in the formation. If you want to set zone drops and do this as a cover 3 blitz, you could call cover 3 sky. But like I said, you could run this out of any play. You could run this out of man under, Tampa 2. You could do this out of cover 3 match if you wanted to, cover 3 cloud. So you got some coverages that you can work with here in this particular setup. So let's go ahead and get into it here. I'm going to do this out of cover 3 sky. And on offense, we'll choose something pretty popular. Obviously, we know that the bunch meta is the top thing going. So like I mentioned, you want to make sure that your line of scrimmage linebacker is on the right side of the screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this play. And the reason that you want to do that is you want to make sure that LeCount right here is in that right B gap on the line. And like I said, we're going to pick him up off the line and we're going to move him back. We're going to move him to a spot which is just a smidge beyond the point where if you click off, the game moves him back to his original spot. So you see with this particular formation, when you place him too close to the line, the game is basically going to move them back to their original spot. So you want to get them in a spot which is just close enough to the line of scrimmage where it doesn't move them. And then you just want to blitz them. And you see right here, this is just going to be a simple 5-man pressure with this guy coming in from depth. Now, the player that's really going to screw this up for the offense is actually going to be the right tackle, Okorafor. And with this particular play, he's going to slide to the inside looking at LeCount, and that's going to allow that player to come off the edge that I mentioned, which for us is going to be JOK, Owusu Koromoa. So with this, I like to go ahead and use the other linebacker, and I kind of stand at the same depth. And if you want to, you can hold strafe, you can hold either trigger, both triggers if you want. You don't have to really hold anything, to be honest, but the offensive lineman is going to slide to the inside and he's going to get straight to the quarterback for a quick pressure, which is really nice. So again, let's go ahead into the instant replay and we'll show you how this looks. If you guys are enjoying this free YouTube content, I would strongly urge you to go over to my strategy website. GridironGameplans.gg is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault Update, we take a look at the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counter those metas when you face them in online gameplay. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every offensive and defensive game plan released on the website while your subscription is active, and access to our Discord server, where every single Wednesday, we have a live lab session covering the week's vault content and any questions you guys have about Madden. So make sure you guys head over to GridironGameplans.gg. $9.95 per month unlocks the entire website. So as you can see here with this particular setup, like I mentioned, it is number 76, the right tackle, that is going to slide to the inside and target that player that we moved back in this look. So as you can see here, he kind of slides in to try to chip on that player. And then he realizes that he gave up the edge and he tries to recover. And by that point in time, JOK is back to the quarterback, free off the edge for a sack. Now, as I mentioned, you can run this out of any coverage that you want in this particular play. Again, you need to make sure you flip it such that your line of scrimmage linebacker is on the right. Now, there are 3 plays in the nickel triple in which you can actually come out with this formation on auto flip. Auto flip is going to make it so that the nickel corner always aligns to the strength of the formation. In the first example, we showed this to you out of cover 3 sky. This is actually a formation that does not have this trick, but the 3 plays that we're going to talk about are the Tampa 2, the cover 3 cloud, and also the cover 6. If you choose any of those 3 plays, you can flip the play and the nickel corner will not switch sides. So I'm going to go ahead and show this to you. I've got Tampa 2 and cover 3 cloud in my audibles already. I'm going to call cover 6 on auto flip. So once again here, we're going to choose a play out of the gun bunch. And you see right here that the nickel corner is auto flipped to the bunch side. The bunch is on the right, but our line of scrimmage linebacker is not in the correct spot. So what we want to do to make this work is flip our formation. But when we flip our formation, the nickel corner should switch sides. In the nickel triple, this is not the case in those 3 plays. Like I said, cover 6, cover 2, and cover 3 cloud. So when we flip this, you see here that the nickel corner stays on that side. And now we've just flipped our cover 6, so our match is to the weak side of the formation. Now, again, if you want to set zone drops, this shouldn't really matter for you. You can set whatever zone, you can Mabel however you want. But the trick is going to be the same. You're going to move this player back to this position, and then you're going to blitz him and click off of him. And then you're going to stand in the same depth on the other A gap right here. And when the ball snapped, that player is going to slide inside. You're going to get free pressure off the edge. Obviously, depending on what coverage call you're in, you're going to play your assignment. Right there, I kind of just stood with my user. But naturally, if I'm responsible for the left flat, obviously I need to get out there and guard the running back. Otherwise, they're going to throw that check down. So this is one of those blitzes that is designed to be quick to the quarterback, kind of surprise them, gives you a little bit of a surprise element that should confuse them, force them into a bad read. This is a really, really good blitz to mix in against empty sets, or if you've been, dropping a ton of coverage and just kind of rushing 4, and you want to bring something, from a pressure look. You have to kind of remember that this doesn't really look like a blitz. When you look at this, this just looks like maybe you're going to have the 2D tackles rushing, definitely the guy that's on the right edge rushing, and probably the left outside linebacker that's in that 2-point stance rushing. But you wouldn't really think to yourself, oh, hey, I need to block a running back, or, oh, hey, I should probably leave the tight end to block that free edge runner. Because, when you look to the right of the screen, there's nothing really there that stands out to you like, hey, this is going to be coming in right away. So again, I mentioned that you can do this out of cover 6. The other plays that you can do this out of are Tampa 2. So again, if I show you, I flip Tampa 2, it just flips those defensive tackles and then the 2 inside linebackers, which we put safeties at those spots. The other play that does this is also cover 3 cloud. So if I show you cover 3 cloud, I show you this play art. If I flip that play, the nickel corner stays, which is kind of cool because now I can choose, to run cover 3 cloud with the cloud flat corner on the bunch side, or I can flip it the other direction and run it this way, and make this work. So again, this blitz works better if you have the line of scrimmage linebacker on the right. So in this example, I'm going to pick him up off the line to that same spot, like I just mentioned. We're going to place him about, 2.5, 3 yards off the ball. We're going to stand right here. And again, with this particular setup, now we've got a hook curl that can hang out. Maybe you put him into a vertical hook to guard, a tight end quick wheel off the line. That's super popular right now. Super, super meta. You've got a flat out here. You can set that to whatever depth if you're worried about a corner. You could Mabel. So maybe you think you have a 30-yard blue and you want to set this guy in a purple zone, set that to 0 or 5 to take away the quick flat. You could individually man up a crosser or man up the tight end wheel and then manually guard the crosser on your own. You could honestly go ahead and change everything about this play if you want to from a coverage standpoint. But again, if they send 5 guys out on routes, you should be looking at pressure. Right there, it came through the B gap, but obviously you'll take it off the edge or through the looper on that play. So again, any play you want, make sure the line of scrimmage linebacker is on the right, pull him back to about 2.5 yards. You want to click off of him. You want to kind of come down and use her at that same depth. Get that offensive tackle to kind of slide inside. Now, you see here that this example screwed up. It didn't work. This is where it's really, really important to kind of bring up that you have this thing in the game that is known as resistance. And resistance basically is EA's way of making sure that you can't spam the same blitz over and over and over and over again. However, I will say this when you're taking a look at this particular concept. If you switch up your players and you put new bodies on the field, so say for instance, we've had LeCount and JOK rushing off of that right edge pretty consistently. If I were to go ahead and swap those guys out, let's say I put Delpit at that spot, and then let me go ahead and put Jadeveon Clowney on that right edge now instead of JOK. What you're going to notice is that this blitz then becomes viable again. So, you know, for those of you out there that maybe spam things repeatedly and you wonder why your blitzes stop working, this is why. You know, once you run it a few times, it basically stops working, which is why I think it's really important to pick your moments when you're blitzing in Madden. I'm a big proponent of dropping coverage as long as you can, just kind of holding the door, keeping everything in front of you, and then picking your moment to blitz and surprise them, because that surprise element is what wins you games. It forces those quick throws into, you know, into traffic. It allows you to jump the first read, knowing that they're going to throw, you know, the first read in their sequence. Once you've picked up on what their progression is, if they throw only drags or if they go to the running back always, that allows you to jump their tendency, and then they either throw you an interception or they panic throw to somebody else for an interception. So that's really the goal that we're looking for here with this play. But again, here I've switched bodies. Let me go ahead and show this to you out of like an empty look. Again, we got the same starting offensive lineman here. So from a you know, a standpoint of resistance, it's the new bodies that we put on the field that are going to help us get this pressure. So once again, we want to make sure that we choose a play that we could probably flip and not have the nickel corner do anything crazy. If you wanted to, you know, make that nickel corner go to the other side, you probably could if you wanted to. But really what you're looking to do here is move this line of scrimmage linebacker back, kind of put him, you know, basically over the A gap, about 2.5, 3 yards off the ball. Kind of want to stand here, user that, and you see right here, you're getting that looper through the B gap again. So, you know, here's the blitz. This is something that I do out of the nickel triple. If you guys want a bunch of other nickel triple blitzes, this was my first game plan of the year. There's all kinds of crazy stuff, to basically guarantee, you know, A gaps when the tight end stays into block. So say for instance that your opponent is back in that bunch offense and they decide that they want to make that tight end stay in and block. You actually have ways to guarantee that your defensive tackle will come through the A gap against that style of offense. So in fact, we actually did a video here on the YouTube channel showing that exact same tip. I'll go ahead and kind of show you guys a clip of that right now. So that'll do it with today's video. If you guys liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, make sure you guys drop those below in the comment section. Always like to hear what you guys are thinking. It's Christmas week, so we'll continue to push the content out as much as possible. Try to stay on schedule for you guys. Make sure you guys check out gridirongameplans.gg. If you guys want to watch me stream this game live, head over to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ZanMadden. I stream Monday through Friday in the early afternoon to early evening. So basically from noon or 1 Central Time until, you know, 6 or 7 most nights. So you guys can check me out 5 times a week over there. Hopefully I'll see you guys over there in the Twitch streams on the website. If not, we'll see you guys right back here tomorrow with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.